Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we'll have a look at recent security vulnerability issue reported by Sitecore and what its impact, which versions is it impacting, and how do we fix it and how do we test it? Are we going to lose any functionalities? All those things. And if you are not aware, Sitecore reports or any security vulnerability as in when they find any issues in the Sitecore products, and obviously when they are releasing, they will also mention which versions it is affecting and the way to fix as well. And very important thing is, whenever they release any new security vulnerability, they also tag something called severity definition. So they currently have like 4 categories, which means like how much severe that security issue is. So with the recent one, which they released is March 28th, just a couple of days before, this is tagged into critical vulnerability, which means Sitecore recommends that the customers apply critical updates immediately. So we need to update this immediately. And what are the versions it is impacting? So first we talk about products. So products, obviously nothing except SaaS products. So SaaS, all new and shiny products, right? Except that previous traditional Sitecore products, XM, XP, XC, irrespective of whether if you are hosted on managed cloud or if you are hosted on yourself or if you are hosted on with some other partner. So that's all, everything is impacted. So what are the versions is it impacting? So it is impacting everything, all the versions 9 above, 9 till the latest version is 10.3. If you are working on some upgrade projects, you have to take care of this as well during the upgrade. And second important point is, does it mean that it is not going to affect prior to 9 version? No. If you are unlucky, you might be working on 8 or 8.2 Sitecore version projects. It's just that Sitecore has, obviously the support has ended for those versions. They will not release any security patch or security bulletins for those versions. But it does not mean that there is no security issue in those versions. So especially this one, you have to make sure you check that issue in your 8.2 or 8 versions as well, and you have to fix it. And so now we are telling XM, XP, XC. So what are the roles is it impacting? So obviously we have different topologies, different way of hosting and all. So the topology I already mentioned is content delivery, CD, CM, reporting, processing, and XM dispatch. All these 5 roles, the main core server roles, they have that MVC simulator, the device simulator, DLL, and as well as config. So we have to remove that. So what is the exact fix? Fix is very simple one. You can just remove this config and remove this DLL. Either disable or remove the config, or you can delete the DLL. And obviously they already provided the container option. So you just need to update your Docker file instructions to customize that. And last but not the least, if your customers are like asking question, is it going to delete or are we expecting some patch or anything? They already confirmed that there is no impact on the losing some functionality. So device simulator will still work as it is, just that this was used in older product versions and this DLL and config is already become absolute. I have no understanding why they had to keep that if it is absolute, but yeah. So maybe to support the older version, maybe support to some custom code or anything, if anyone has written some custom code on top of that. But let's see, have a quick demo on like how this all works, how we could test it. So for that reason, I already have in my local XM1 topology, where one topology for the local developer machine is CM and CD are separate. So I already have in my local 10.2 version. For some other reason I have installed this version. So I could use this same thing for our testing as well, CM and CD. So let me go to CM and CD. This is a pure vanilla Sitecore installation. There is no custom code, not even one config change. So if you install Sitecore, and you don't need to be logged into CM, Sitecore, or obviously nothing in CD. Still you will be able to browse. So let's do one thing. If you all remember that API Sitecore, which was a custom or default route provided by Sitecore, we used to use previously. If you at all we are building some controller action method, if you want to call from JSON or Ajax calls or anywhere, we used to use tag API Sitecore, controller name, and action method, and if you pass some query strings or anything. But obviously from 9 and above they stopped that support in CD, and they have dedicated this for Sitecore Speak and all, and now we only need to build custom routes. So that's a different topic, but that's what we are going to use. I've already been trying with this. So just quickly have a look. API Sitecore, that default route, and then you mention fully qualified namespace of the controller. It is simulator controller, and preview is action method here. Preview path is your query string. So how do we pick it up? So this is what it is. If you dot pick it, MVC device simulator, this is what it comes. It comes device simulator controller, simulator, and as well as preview, that action method, and preview path. So preview path, now I can literally browse any files. So is this CM? Yeah, it is CM. So, sorry, what I could do is go to CM, app data, and log files. So pick any log file. Obviously I have to put path, app data, logs. Notice that I am not logged into Sitecore. I am not logged into anything. So, but still I can browse literally files. This is what the security vulnerability they are talking about. And obviously it is a big one. If you can browse from, you could browse some of the websites who have not applied the patch on a live site itself. So obviously this is a CD URL. The log file might be different. So let me pull some of the other log file. Or you can browse actually license file as well. You can actually browse license file also. But let's leave the license file for now. So it does not matter CM or CD, and even it works in processing, reporting, EXM dispatch, because when you host that in Azure PaaS, you will have the URL for processing and reporting. You can just browse and try and test it. So what is a fix? Fix, as I mentioned, it was simple. All you need to do is device simulator, disable it, and remove the DLL. Let's do it on CM. So go to your inetpub.www root, the CM location, and go to app config, Sitecore, MVC device simulator, and just add disabled. You could delete also. Device simulator, then go to bin, try to find Sitecore, MVC, right? So Sitecore MVC device simulator. I'm just deleting this, and let's see how it works. Obviously it has to throw now controller action method errors because the controller does not exist anymore. Obviously we removed the DLL and all. The app will need to be recycled. It will fix. In the meantime, let's proceed. Fix is very simple, but the way you keep track of it might be, obviously as expected, it will come. So you could do the manual fix on CM, CD, processing, reporting, EXM dispatch, all the roles. So there are most of the time two kind of scenarios are there. For the CM and CD, most of the time we don't release anything to processing and reporting and EXM dispatch until unless we customize something and all, very rare scenarios. So we don't usually have CI/CD pipelines for these roles. So we have now most of the scenarios, whatever I've seen is whenever there is a new deployment, we do have like install vanilla Sitecore for each deployment. I mean, just wipe out that app service. I mean, there won't be any files in that, but you install the Sitecore vanilla and you deploy the custom code and you import the content and whatever that is. Your database stays the same. So that's how it works. And if it is your scenario like this, obviously every time that vanilla Sitecore is getting installed, these MVC device simulator comes from that vanilla Sitecore. So you have to have a handle of some task in DevOps pipeline, or your vanilla Sitecore packages, if you are hosted somewhere, maybe you can go to the source and remove those files and zip it and do it. So either way it works. But if you are like some of the scenarios where only Sitecore will be installed when the new environment has been set up. Rest all the time, general CI/CD pipeline only deploys the custom code, nothing else. In that scenario, you could go and just do one of a manual task to remove these files from the environment, but you need to make sure they won't come back again when there is a scenario where the new environment has been set up, or for the disaster recovery scenarios. So maybe this is all depends on your DevOps and infra team. You could speak with them. Maybe they want to write a PowerShell script. Maybe they want to work with Kudu scripts in Azure. Maybe some other way, whichever way they do it. When they do the environment setup, they need to take care of this as well. So same applies for the processing, reporting and all, because in most of the scenarios, this we are not going to deploy again and again and again because there won't be any regular problem. It can be a manual change, but we need to make sure that new environment setup and DR scenarios, these will not come back again. So that's all about this security vulnerability. If you are not fixed it, please get in touch with your client as soon as possible and get this fix rolled into your production environment. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.